Most men think attraction is about saying more, doing more, trying harder, but sometimes it comes down to something much simpler, using the right energy behind just a few words. And today, you're going to learn two of the most powerful words you can use in a conversation that can quietly shift how someone sees you, without forcing anything, without performing, and without trying to impress. Because here's the truth most people never hear. Attraction isn't built through effort, it's built through authenticity. And the moment you stop performing and start being present, everything begins to change. Now, before we get into those two words, you need to understand something important. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right, saying the right things, being polite, being respectful, and still felt the connection fade, it's not because you weren't good enough. It's because the interaction didn't feel real. People are incredibly sensitive to energy, not just what you say, but how you say it, why you say it, and whether it actually matches who you are. The moment something feels slightly off, slightly forced, slightly rehearsed, it creates distance, not consciously, but emotionally. And once that distance appears, connection starts to fade. This is where emotional congruence comes in. When your words match your internal state, when you're not trying to impress or win approval, when you're simply present, that's when interactions start to feel effortless. And that's exactly what these two words help you do. The first word is interesting, but not in the way most people use it. This isn't about throwing it into a conversation just to fill space. It's about using it as a reflection of genuine curiosity. Think about how most people respond in conversations. Someone shares something unique or different, and the response is either instant agreement or a quick shift back to themselves. Both reactions come from the same place, the need to be liked. But when you respond with a calm, grounded, "That's interesting. Tell me more," something different happens. You're not agreeing just to avoid tension, and you're not competing for attention. You're showing that you're comfortable enough to explore someone else's perspective without losing your own. And that's powerful, because it signals presence. It shows you're actually listening, not waiting for your turn to speak. It creates space instead of pressure. And more importantly, it makes the other person feel seen. When someone feels genuinely heard, their guard lowers. They open up more. The conversation deepens naturally. You're no longer just exchanging words. You're building connection. But here's the key. It only works if it's real. If you say, "interesting," but your attention isn't there, it falls flat. People can feel the difference instantly. So the goal isn't to use the word, it's to become the kind of person who is actually curious. The word is just a doorway into that state. Now let's talk about the second word, and this is the one most people struggle with. The word is no. Not aggressively, not defensively, not with attitude, just a calm, clear, grounded no. And this is where everything shifts. Most people have been conditioned to avoid saying no, especially in situations where they want to be liked. They agree, they go along, they adjust themselves to fit the moment. But what they don't realize is that constant agreement doesn't build connection. It erases identity. When you say yes to everything, there's nothing solid about you. No edges, no boundaries, no sense of self. And without that, there's nothing to connect with. A calm no does the opposite. It shows that you have your own direction, your own standards, your own sense of what works for you and what doesn't. And the important part is how you say it. No over-explaining, no nervous laughter, no trying to soften it so much that it loses meaning. Just a simple, respectful no. That kind of response communicates something deeper than confidence. It communicates stability. It shows that you're not reacting to gain approval. You're responding from a place of clarity, and that creates trust, because people trust what feels consistent. Now here's where these two words come together. Interesting shows openness. No shows boundaries. One invites connection, the other protects your identity. And when both are present, something powerful happens. You become someone who is easy to talk to, but also someone who is grounded in themselves. That balance is rare. And because it's rare, it stands out. Most people lean too far in one direction. Either they're overly agreeable and lose themselves, or they're too rigid and push people away. But when you can be curious without losing your center and firm without being cold, you create a space where real connection can happen. And this is the part most people miss. These words are not techniques, they're reflections of your internal state. If you're constantly seeking approval, interesting will sound forced and no will feel impossible to say. But when you start shifting how you see yourself, when you stop needing every interaction to go perfectly, these words begin to come naturally. So instead of memorizing what to say, focus on how you show up. Be present enough to actually listen. Be grounded enough to hold your own position, and let your words come from that place. Because at the end of the day, attraction, connection, respect, none of it comes from trying to be perfect. It comes from being real. And sometimes being real is as simple as saying, "That's interesting," and knowing when to say no.